Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Danganronpa 2. We will now recap our handbook here, our truth bullets, before we get down to it. Actually, let's check on our pet. Alright. Clean. Okay, now let's check our truth bullets. So, where did you leave off, Zach? Wait, you saw like the deaths, right?
Yeah, the last thing
And
I
that's, like, the
saw
last thing we
was Sayonji was like killed in a brutal way, and she was like, I think, tied to a pillar or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
pretty much it. So, there are two victims this time, Ibuki and Yoko Sayonji. Ibuki Miyota's cause of death was crushed windpipe as a result of choking. There are no other external injuries. This is the Monokuma file, by the way.
Okay.
Yoko Sayonji's cause of death was blood loss due to her throat being slit by a sharp-edged tool. Periods of death was instant. Blood on the soles. There were blood stains on Ibuki's shoes.
Feet? Okay.
Little hospital slippers. Rope used for hanging. According to Mikon, there's no doubt that the cause of Ibuki's death was her hanging herself with that rope. With this rope.
Of course Mikon would know.
Well, she is the autopsy person.
Is that the
motel.
only reason?
The key to the motel room that Yoko was staying in, it was buried deep inside her kimono, so it's pretty difficult to retrieve. We didn't retrieve it. We had a Kane retrieve it. Scrap of thick paper that was stuck to the baton lighting. A black curtain at the very back of the music stage. It's not wide enough to reach both sides of the stage. It looks like it was brought from the supermarket and not something that was originally there. Because it wasn't there during Ibuki's concert.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Step ladder found on the music venue stage. That's what, they were climbing up on when, what Ibuki climbed up on.
What Ibuki was climbing up on,
Yeah.
but she already had blood on her feet, which,
Stepped
yeah.
on its side, and on its left side, a blood stain can be seen. Candle that we saw from like the dim candlelight when we saw the surveillance camera video was a light from this candle. Surveillance camera unit put inside the music venue. So that was a surveillance camera. It was broken. So it must have been broken after we saw the video. Or
Okay.
was it? Yeah, it probably
Or
was.
was it? Or was it broken when or maybe it was broken when we saw Ibuki?
The AC was cranked up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. It was extremely hot inside the music venue. Evidence that a blood stain was wiped off the floor of the music venue stage. Since Ibuki had no open wounds, it believes the blood belonged to Yoko. Strange glob was stuck to where both the music venue doors touched each other.
Oh yeah, and the one girl just like ate it and like
Yeah,
says,
she
"Oh
ate
yeah, it's
it."
definitely tastes like chemicals." Like,
Hey,
Right up
as,
until the
as
Monokuma announcement that morning, Mikon was with Hajime the whole time. Afterwards, she went to the hospital to check on everyone and realized that Ibuki had disappeared. When she rushed out of the hospital to search for Ibuki, she met up with Fuyuhiko. Surveillance monitor video. The video that Hajime saw at the hospital. It shows a person dressed in a hospital gown wearing a hemp bag on their head as they willingly step on climb a step ladder towards the news. After Fuyuhiko met Mikon from the hospital, they split up to search for Ibuki. They checked the movie theater and Electric Avenue, but they didn't find anyone. Apparently Fuyuhiko and Mikon were only separated for a short time. Yoko was distraught because her kimono was disheveled and she was unable to tie it on her own. That's when Sonia told her about the full-length mirror in the music venue storage room. So, Yoko actually has her kimono on wrong. The sash is on the wrong side. So, it's likely that she went to that full-length mirror to tie it, like, so she could see herself, and that's why Sonia thinks she's, like, responsible for her going to that full-length mirror in the storage room of the music venue. Invitation ticket prepared by Monokuma. So this was our movie ticket. We went back and watched the movie that we really didn't want to watch and paid a large amount of money to not watch. Because apparently everybody thinks it's an imitation murder from that movie. They looked at the movie and then like the killer used what they saw in the movie as like an imitation of their own murder. Kind of like the game, basically.
Yeah.
I
forgot all about that movie. So wait,
We
you're
all-
saying
we all
you're,
want
you're
to
saying the movie was a long movie that just showed how
It was
you were
like-
going to
it was like-
die?
It was like 3 minutes of like a Wizard of Oz parody, and the way like the lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man die. Two of the lion and the scarecrow were used as an imitation murder in this case. Does that make sense?
All right. So we can nah, but like we can go we can go through we can just go through this and we'll figure it out through the trial. You know.
Okay. Yeah, it's called the Wizard of Monami.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
that's pretty much
managed
all of our evidence anyway. And then Monokuma said there's only one tote bag he sold at the theater, because that's where we saw that Monami tote bag. That was on Ibuki's head.
Cool.
Or on the person
I-
on the video side.
I managed to find a voice modifier. That makes
Oh,
it
yeah?
like cozy. Yeah. It's gonna be. Forgive me if it's loud. So here we go.
Infinity Unlimited Flame.
Oh, yeah, what
Yes.
does that do?
It makes the silencer stronger.
That's gotta be
Ah.
Gundam's move.
Oh yeah, that's it. Man. And what's the thing we got from Sonya?
I believe it was
I think
Envious
it was-
Influence.
Oh, that
Yeah.
Nice.
Hello.
Hey,
You sound the same, Ed.
Oh, hold on. It's not working.
nah.
Yeah.
Nah, it still sounds like Ed.
Let me fix that real quick. What is this?
Let's begin.
Now then, let's
Let me mute
Gotta turn off
volume.
them voices.
And you gotta crank up that BGM.
Maybe.
Yeah, make it batch like 5. There we go. Now I can't
Ow.
hear the little piece of shit.
Perfect.
That's me! Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial that I've already explained 3 times.
Wow, we've never done a class trial before, have we?
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
I don't know why you can't hit enter to just progress dialogue. I hate clicking.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh well, I mean, you know, who cares about the boring explanation? Let's just get on with it already.
Nice.
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
Alright, me and Nagato are on the same page.
Or just
Oh, shoot, sorry. Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagato's not alone. I don't really get it either.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
You're one to talk, bitch.
Is that how you're interpreting that line?
Yeah, we're going full ad-lib. Let's just
Okay.
commit to
Sure,
it.
why not?
Okay,
100%
that's all I heard.
ad lib. Let's do it.
That's all I heard. I'm like, well, that's pretty iconic.
The more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
Maybe the voice is still a little too loud.
Listen up. The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
Hajime.
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments.
I think we gotta boost the BGM even higher.
Yeah, crank that.
At you.
I think it's not loud enough.
Crank it to 8 out of 10. Or all
Wait,
the
that's
way.
sound effects.
That's
No
the sound
wonder.
effects.
Told your boy up in that hole. Watch me crack it. Watch me.
Oh my god.
But I think Monokuma's theme kind of sounds like the music to crack that.
Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
You can hear her voice over that fat bass they're running now.
I do feel like that's the only thing that got louder, was just the bass.
Yeah, really. Let's start with Let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane who were infected, and Mikan. Oh, and Mikan, Fui, Hiko, and me.
Sorry, hold on. The other 5 on the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko. Yeah, that bass really be tickling my ears.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hashime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
Should I put my subwoofer on? I have one.
Wait, would that...
Will we hear it on
It
the...
would just echo back through the mic. It would be awful.
That'd be terrible.
I woke up at my cottage on the day of the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms. We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Mikan rest in the on-call room since she hadn't slept all night while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was... a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a head bag on their head climbing the stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story! And then, what did you do, Hajime?
I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video is being recorded, the music venue. I was too late. By the time I had arrived, the person wearing the head bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. Thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least that's what I thought, but the only person who came with me was Chiaki.
But I do remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Yoko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone, so I sprinted out of the hospital. Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
Various ways?
Get your head out of the gutter.
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the head bag. So I immediately led them to the music venue.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the 4 of us broke down the door. And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body, we also found Hyoko's. And not just that, her body was taped to a pillar. And not just that, her kimono was on backwards.
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement, not once, but twice in a row.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
We removed the head bag, just as we feared. It was Ibuki.
So that's the Cal case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Such high IQ. Such high
Poor
IQ.
Monami's just hanging in the background.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who?
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true?
Oh my
Really, you
god.
bitch?
Huh?
Fucking... I can't.
Sorry, I'm only just being impartial right now, and the story I just heard is clearly suspicious.
I hate you.
Oh,
The music just changes to
I-
like
hey.
challenge.
He's 100% right. Like, this is all,
It's
we're all
true.
trusting
It is
Hajime.
that
Hajime is the top
I mean,
suspect.
it is, but he's being a troll.
He's totally trolling right now.
He can't prove that he saw the thing on the tape because it was broken.
Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hang video and the first one to discover Yuki's body,
Hold on one second, I gotta turn you up a little bit, Justin.
okay,
This like slapping bass is just like really overpowering your voice right now.
of course it is. Of course it. Oh, that's a lie. No one can keep this voice down.
You just gotta get right up on the mic.
Exactly. All I gotta do is put
Shove
the
a
mic
bagel in
closer
his
to
mouth.
Make sensual noises as you get each pronunciation correctly, Domo.
Let me just remove this pesky
All right.
pop filter.
All right. Let me eat my bagel booster. It will boost my voice to over 9,000.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I got everybody boosted a little bit.
Bass boost.
All right.
And you could be lying as much as you want right now, right?
Lie? Why would I lie?
Obviously, so you can make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me? After all the bagels we've been through?
Of course, you wouldn't accept any of the bagels I offered you. If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it.
We even watched a movie together.
How does this always end up like?
You watch it on your own, and you paid $1.5 million initially to not see that movie. Stupid. Now come on, try to prove it to me. Prove that you're not the killer.
Every case is just them flirting in the middle of the
Nagito's the kind of guy who'll just confuse us and make matters worse. And I should have explained it to Nagito. I'm in trouble now thanks to that.
Oh god.
That was a casual
Get those glow sticks out.
Movie's invitation ticket.
Probably.
Movie's invitation ticket.
Yeah, monitor video.
Or surveillance monitor video.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious. Aaron.
Free fashion.
Sorry.
Are we gonna... Very
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime's been witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because he's
Oh, we have a video recording
Did
of what
Hajime
happened?
draw both of them?
the fact that the body was imitating the movie that Hajime never saw means it probably is Hajime's
Yeah.
fault.
Use the ticket then, because he only watched that movie during the
Afterwards.
date that he
Oh
watched.
wait, that's why he told him to save it. This is
Yeah,
the
that's why he
weirdest
told him to
wording
save
ever.
it. Nagito, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, he did it on purpose.
Better save that ticket, because I'm gonna totally try to clap you in the middle of the trial.
And
I
dude,
thought my testimony's lying.
What a troll.
I can't
That's actually hilarious.
He was thinking about us the whole time. What a bro.
and I'm dead during
Damn,
all this
what
because
kind
this
of
is
power
bullshit.
trip is this?
Counter!
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good like starting argument. Usually it's really stupid.
Maybe he just wanted to absolve us of any guilt or like anyone's.
He just
suggesting
seemed
it
to
was
like he was
us,
setting it up
early,
as
you know?
like
He's like, hey,
clearing
let's
us
just get this
early.
out of the way, Hajime. I know you wouldn't do this, homie. I'm not the killer. I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
Fuck you!
Huh?
God damn.
This is the
Before
most
the-
unhealthy relationship.
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket's proof of that.
Really? You go
Nagito's
to
like if
couples
it's like that
counseling,
one
Jesus.
chapter of Danganronpa 1, but we're challenging Kirigiri like every chapter.
Oh man, but yeah, the ticket has the date and time.
Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Ah, yes. No mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, will commit murders that imitated it.
Alright, you can only watch it once. But what if somebody told him what the movie was about? What if he asked for a synopsis?
Yeah, you can't prove Nagito that you didn't tell me what the movie was about.
Oh, he just asked.
Did anyone
He just
tell
turns
what
it around.
happened in the movie? Of course, no one
What
did.
the fuck?
Right.
Hold on a sec. You're the one who brought this up in the first place.
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the formation.
I knew it.
This is the weirdest form of foreplay ever.
Some trial foreplay.
It also
Yeah.
provides a good warm-up.
It's a good opening
God,
argument
why
to
is
get your
this
confidence
dialogue?
up.
Dialogue just keeps
What warm
affirming
up? This
everything.
isn't a game, you know.
It isn't?
It's not very meta.
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important, especially since this isn't a game.
What a waste of time. Well, I knew you would turn out like this anyway.
Now then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let's move on with the arguments.
Yeah, we...
Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then it steals it. Ibuki committed suicide, even though that totally sucks.
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Yoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring at the same place as a suicide ain't, possible, huh?
Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue? I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
The killer blocked the venue the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
Huh? They were?
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two, Sonia and Kazuichi!
Fuck.
Rip.
Yeah, you two.
Bullshit. What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
Because you're such a simp.
Yeah. We all like Sonia better than you, Kazuichi, so frankly, you're done. I don't... The others all have alibis. I'm ready to vote.
Fucking vote, yeah.
Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Nekamaru.
Yeah.
Nick, do
what?
Monokuma imitating Nekamaru.
Oh, that's me too.
Hey, why are you talking like that, huh? You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
Please stop making bad jokes.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis, including Nekamaru.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall. Is this his professional skill? Fucking bullshit.
Gangster.
The killer was inside the music venue. You could obviously think so, but is that really it?
Make your argument.
Hotel room key?
Semi-transparent blob.
So,
Oh yeah.
That's as good as any.
That's the most important. It tastes like
Oh, sorry, the killer was still fucked by locking the door from the inside. They tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? The door should not have a lock. We already went over this.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt. Oh, sorry.
We just
Well, that was simultaneous. We're just going, what?
By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together. And suddenly appeared.
So they look like they were just rushed over.
I've seen this in serial crime dramas. That's not helping.
I'm changing my vote.
Yeah, it's just like that one.
I didn't really see anything. I'm gonna have to go back through.
Inside.
Oh, the glob.
Yeah,
Maybe
wasn't
that
really
is
locking.
it. Because the glob stuck the door together a little bit too.
Trying to stall for time.
Maybe.
How did they lock the door? I already read this.
We might have to absorb the broken drumstick. And I think maybe we pitched the
Would it
broken...
be the glob too? Because it wasn't just the broken drumstick, right? That was also stuck to the door, which kind of stuck the door.
Download it! Download it! Fuck!
Wouldn't download, bro.
It wouldn't fucking The game's fucking up on us now.
We only got 5 minutes!
Oh no, we'll never solve it in time.
Nah, we good.
Yeah, I got. Just shoot it with a glove.
Oh,
Well, shit. It was pretty straightforward then.
oh wait, when you're supporting somebody's like truth, I don't think you can take
No,
that.
you can't absorb when you're doing
the
good.
ones. Yeah, you can't do the
Okay.
Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility the door is locked from the outside.
From the outside. Ow.
There's a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they use.
A semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
It wasn't rubber at all. The semi-transparent glob was probably...
Gum.
Glue.
I think it was glue.
It wasn't rubber, it was rubber.
It was glue.
The glob must have been glue.
Glue!
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm an expert at eating glue.
Yeah, let me see what it tastes like.
It had a firm, gel-like cheesiness. Very tasty. I can smell where chocolates.
Oh my god.
You probably put it in your mouth, Chiaki. What the?
Hey, look,
Okay.
she's gotta describe the taste profile.
Like
I
a true,
literally had to like nom on it. I was like, nom.
like a true Potemkin player. I respect it.
Based on that, I'm certain it was glue.
Something tells me that she like used to cook meth.
Damn, that's going pretty hard from eating glue. Alan!
She just shook it.
We might
It's
need some of the
she's
cover.
checking if glue is edible.
Yeah, she's looking it up right now. She's like, hold on, this is important.
I mean, like, you know, it has horse bones.
Oops, sorry. I didn't know glue was edible. I've always been told not to eat glue ever since kindergarten.
Where I was told not to huff glue. I believe it is not something one typically eats.
That glue was only applied to areas where both doors touched.
You know, I got my taste for glue when I like lick letters close.
Okay, the Elmer's glue stuff though, that's pretty fun to peel off your hands.
I would say, you know, sending out like birthday letters and stuff like that. Those kind of enabled me.
Jesus Christ.
And that got me started. But then I moved up to harder
Are you
stuff.
saying?
Over your
Like
face.
letters.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the gateway, but I moved to harder stuff like glue sticks, Elmer's, and then eventually Gorilla Glue, but then I had to be honest.
Oh my god, I
Oh
literally
man. You probably still have that Gorilla Glue like in your body, in your system.
Heard it works as a good substitute shampoo too, if you ever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you guys go talk about your glue while I munch on these bagels.
Pouring in the gaps of the closed door. He must have sealed the venue from the outside.
And thanks to that, a blob of glue is left with the door stuck. Yeah, it fits perfectly.
But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be easily able to break down the door, you know?
That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
Well, what'd you say? Are you saying I've been duped?
Did I fucking stutter? First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
I mean, Fuyahiko was really excited about that alibi.
He was like, man, I got it! I figured it out, guys! Alright, anyway, are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap!
Oh, I'm sorry for you, Hiko.
God damn it.
Apologize.
I like that he's such a simp that he doesn't even put himself first.
I'm sorry, Justin. You were like Christmas lady. Smothering you right now, dude.
Damn it, Kazuichi, you really pulled a fast one on me. With that drumstick.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time, fucker.
Thank you for that,
Oh my god.
that part. In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better just to have no sides at all. I don't make any sense.
So during the 10 minutes, Hajime left the venue. The killer murdered Hyoko and created a closed space.
And they also taped her up after killing her, right? Like some weird perversion people.
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what an unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
Looking awful sus.
Like, wow, Mikan, interesting you would point that out.
They couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue.
Damn.
I mean, her body had to already be there.
They must have done it earlier than that.
Wow, they killed Yoko for his big surprise.
Yeah.
Oh
But
wow.
when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Hyoko's body was there too, right? But it's possible the body was just revealed at the time when Hyoko was actually killed earlier.
Just revealed.
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
The scrap of paper. Is that what we found at the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
That scrap was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. Now I should be able to figure out what it is.
Are we doing logic side or hangman?
In the most straightforward way possible.
It's always Hangman Gambit.
Okay, so what exactly is this?
Wasn't it the wallpaper?
That was stuck on the
Okay,
baton lighting.
Yeah, wallpaper, right?
Wallpaper. Okay, yeah, that's.
Oh my god, what is
Apple
this
sauce.
bullshit?
This
Wait.
is the one that always drives Zach
Is that an
crazy.
A? Should be A!
Do we need it in order? We need a W.
You have to do it in order.
Wall.
Wallpaper. Oh, okay. Now that we're
We
spelling it
need
out.
an L. Wall. Paper. P.
There's a P! P! P!
Hey, P. P. Paper. Paper.
Trying, man.
Where
I'm
the pig?
trying to keep him from moving.
He's on top.
Slow it down then. You
Oh,
know
No,
you
I'm trying to make it go faster by shouting.
Oh my god.
We need an A. With the A.
It's always the one that makes everyone aggro.
Somebody is?
A. Wait. A. We need an A.
Ah!
Oh no!
A. A.
Oh,
there's
we're
two
never
P's.
gonna get it done.
P. Get the P.
Oh no, I blew it up! Alright, we're good.
You do know you can slow it down, right?
No.
We need an
I
E.
just accept the reality that everyone's so crazy on this minigame.
Oh my god, this was
This makes everyone mauled like crazy.
This is improved Hangman's Gambit.
That's crap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room?
I mean, it's improved in that it's harder, but it's also more stressful.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper the same color as that scratch. There's also a tear along the line on the edges of the wallpaper, wasn't there? If so...
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught in the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper.
It's like they're there in person.
See? It fits perfectly.
How do they do this? It's like the mental image is just...
I have the powers of Henry Stickmin, aka bullshit.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
What's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Yoko's body disappearing?
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that.
You know what? Shut the fuck up.
But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
Scrap of paper stuck to the baton lighting is part of the wallpaper I found in the storage room. Is it connected to the sudden appearance of Yoko's body? We'll trace it back from there. The answer should become clear.
Okay, this
Alright,
logic
let's
guy.
give this a try.
Yeah, it's logic guy.
This is the snowboard game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one
Well,
that caused the stream to crash.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to watch. But...
Okay, this one
You
it's a
don't
little
need to
better
watch
now.
my skills.
Alright, it's a little better now. We can actually see what's happening.
Yeah, I can actually do that. Wow.
My rainbow.
What are you singing?
Sonic, I think.
Sonic.
Sonic
I'll
Escape.
post it in
Only,
chat.
only because that's exactly how the first stage starts.
Fast, I guess.
It was hidden. Yeah.
What's that?
Why does it reminds me of that one like game that's like you play any song you're supposed to hit the dots or something like that?
Like every rhythm game?
Yeah. But,
Sometimes
no.
it's not. Sometimes it's not a dot. Sometimes it's a cube.
True.
I mean, there's that, but I'm trying to remember the name of the game of that one specifically.
Audio search?
Yeah.
Body clues that had a body, the wallpaper.
It's wallpaper. You can full stop. That's hilarious.
What kind of weird quiz is this? I don't.
These are all answers we knew going into this.
I can tell you like if this is like how like lawyers get like.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
This is exactly
they make
how I
everything
think when I do a
possible.
test.
This is what
how it
happens in
feels
their
like.
brain.
This
to
is
be
exactly
an attorney.
this is exactly how we do Ace Attorney.
Oh, this is like the flow zone, but for like.
Okay, right straight. How did the killer hide her body at the wallpaper? They covered the pillar.
They covered the pillar.
Yep.
Oh, so she was there the whole
That is
time.
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, the first two questions are
Listen.
usually stuff you already know, and the third question is basically what can you conclude with that?
I'm really confused though because like the wallpaper scrap was not big enough to cover a whole body. Did it just cover the light?
They wrapped,
Well,
they wrapped
They'll explain it.
The wallpaper scrap was all that was left after they disposed of the wallpaper.
Just the
Oh,
rest was.
okay. All right.
We're
Okay.
learning.
That's better.
You know, there is a mini game later in Phoenix Wright that's kind of similar to this, although not as cool.
Yoko's body was hidden before we found it.
Is there?
It's like Blue's Clues.
But it would have taken a long time to tape up a hidden body.
Oh, you mean Spirit of Justice?
Well, the body was
Yeah,
already taped up and the killer
They
hid it.
started in what's it called? The one before Spirits of Justice. I forgot what it's called. Dual Essence.
The body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper. What? They hid the pillar? Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad, dude.
That's way too uniform, though. Like, that's ridiculously uniform. Not even like a bulge of a body out of it.
They just used a lot of wallpaper. That's all they did.
So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Yoko's body was already there.
Ooh.
Because it was concealed with a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize it at the time.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar. Sorry, I'm eating some bagels right now. Okay, stop.
That's no excuse. Keep going.
So, using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Mikan.
The reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like the pillar.
That's how they hid Yoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper. And because of that, a scrap was of the baton lighting.
Fucking bagels. How those bagels?
Yes, sorry. How did I guess that? Anyways, the killer must have been in a hurry. If their plan took too long, Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body in the pillar is very bold and risky.
But the crime itself would be much easier to pull off if they don't have much to do with Hajime's got. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Yoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murders more than once, but what actually is that? I'm kind of dumb.
What? Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece, the Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission. That's copyright infringement.
Oh, you're pretty noisy for someone who eats moss balls.
I don't eat moss balls. I just enjoy looking at them. I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Yoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
It's as if both of their crimes were replicas of the scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
God damn it, Nagano!
Sorry, man. Okay, I gotta have my cravings. I got my cravings. Okay.
How many bagels have you eaten?
55.
Damn, dude.
You need some help with your addiction.
Yeah, we're gonna get you some like therapy or something.
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these limitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
The reason the killer imitated the two victims in that movie, I should be able to explain that now.
To mix up the killing order?
Yeah,
because they really liked the movie. The reason the killer omitted two of the murders from the movie was so we'd mix up the killing order. It's like that other game.
Then Yoko was actually killed before Ibuki. Which we'd figured out already.
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, that's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're gonna cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying though.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
Gundam's the best. Gundam's the best.
Would it? Gundam's something else. Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
God. It's a door right here on the trial floor.
Alright, step on me, Jesus.
Bigger jerk? Impossible.
I hope you're rubbing your two brain cells together. Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was... I'm sorry, that was mean. That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
I mean, Yoko is gone now, so we have to.
What's wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How right! Your words are so right as the sylph's feather. Ha! Your opponent is out of your league! It is too absurd to try to protect me inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
Hot kettle black.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Yoko was killed. How can such a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
But she can taste glue.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
Hey, good one to talk.
This is the most Gundam has ever talked in a trial.
For real though.
Anyway, if this continues, we're just gonna talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Ibuki's status when Yoko was killed.
Oh, blood on the souls.
Blood on the souls.
Blood on the souls. That sounds like a song you would make for a Bungie album.
I'm not sure what activity she was actually doing, other than having her feet on the ground, which is something people generally do.
These people are on the floor.
I'm telling you to present your evidence.
Bruh.
Did you see her walking? Like,
If her feet were on the floor, and was there any sign that
Oh,
she
there we go.
something? Jesus, why am I sideways?
Were there any footprints at the crime scene?
Maybe her feet were on the floor.
Wow, echoing what I said. Okay.
Damn.
Like, sitting or something. So instead, there'd be a mark on her ass.
Weak, I said. It doesn't even pierce my heart.
Maybe she's doing one of those, like, Russian squat.
Why is this the most chaotic?
Because Gundam's involved.
Gundam's chaotic good.
Jesus.
He said Ibuki was standing on the floor when Yoko was killed, but is that really true?
oh my god!
Gundam makes a convincing argument.
Yeah, you're right. Did you see her walking?
Why is Sonya sideways? It is so dirty.
Consent!
I demand consent on this answer, bro.
Well, that was like the only conclusive like free time event we did, to be honest.
Okay, fair.
True. Yeah, they consented a long time ago.
That's the that's like her local government consenting to the marriage.
Yeah. It's official now.
Yeah, suck it, Kazuichi!
Just as Sonya said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There weren't pink bloodstains on the soles of her slippers.
That was not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Then it's Hyoko's blood! Oh my god!
Hyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck, and she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood,
Means Ibuki was still standing when Hyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hyoko was killed. Wow, this is gonna be really hard. I'm not listening to this, all this stuff. Is that it? A shepherd dressed in this Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
That is an interesting turn
Does
of
that mean you
phrase.
have a rebuttal?
what
Does
Christianity?
that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But are you sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know.
He and Hito would get along.
You're so frightened you can't even make a sound? It seems you've realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
Character breath.
Sorry, Brendan, he's already taken.
WASC.
I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do.
We don't even know what his point is going to be, so how can we pick the right thing? Yeah, especially on the floor.
Maybe? We'll see.
Maybe she smudged it with her shoes when she walked through it. Ah, okay.
Like anime fights, bro.
Man, Gundam's arguments are so bad.
That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped the blood away afterwards. Don't say such foolish things. You have no proof at all.
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where the blood was wiped away.
When the killer tries to hide Hyoko's body, they probably clean the blood at the same time.
Wait,
but
was that the end of our samurai showdown?
Yes.
I guess so.
Like I said,
There's no round two.
Gundam's argument was so bad, he couldn't even get a second round.
Like, you broke my sword already.
Ibuki must have already seconded it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped out the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right? Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out and open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Jackie.
Oh, sorry. Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating, so I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikan, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue, so it would screw with Mikan's autopsy.
That's right, I didn't know the time of death because of the heater.
The time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep, since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? And it's decided, Yoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then, but regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a second. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Again? Didn't something like that happen last time too? What the hell?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Suicide?
Well, the same as always. You just have to vote for who the killer is, I guess. Yeah, think about it. Suicide means you killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that would mean that there's no blackened to punish, but I guess, in a pinch, I could always punish Monami.
What the hell? Why me?
Nagito, what do you mean if the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Yoko and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
That's totally impossible. Then she never would have killed her to begin with.
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means... The killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive.
Huh?
When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and messed with the crime scene.
She hanged herself, remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that. I'm actually glad he spoke right at that time. I wanted to say the same thing.
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chose hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means... There's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
What the heck, man?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Huh?
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when he climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud, you weirdo. Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was. No.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know. There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then the video Hajime saw was actually live.
What time did Hajime see that video? I saw it at the hospital right before Monakuma's morning announcement. I saw the body of the music video a little after the Monokuma announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Yoko was killed before Ibuki,
Who wouldn't hang themselves than hear Monokuma say good morning everyone one more time?
Oh.
that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time.
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence. Okay, so...
The alibi hunt decree.
Damn.
I have no idea.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
What about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
Sure you were.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel room doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
Oh no.
Wait.
The murder supposedly happened before and during the morning announcement. The person who doesn't have an alibi for that time.
possibly... Did Fuyuhiko say something that would conflict with that?
So we have 3 accounts in this.
Wait, can you check for Mikan's account?
Fuyuhiko's account would definitely agree with what Fuyuhiko said.
Oh wait, yeah. Didn't she
so
keep
do we
waking
have
up
to,
in his
like-
cottage?
Well, what does that help with anything if we... Yeah, she was in our cottage with us. But like,
So she's the only one who does have an alibi.
oh, that's
So that
true.
would
She
mean
can,
that Sonia's
like,
last
confirm
statement is
our-
wrong.
She can confirm our alibi.
Yeah.
So, okay, hold on, let's switch the Nikon account. We'll go back to the room. Let's take a remix of this. Get this for like a party.
Murder
No.
mystery part.
We were sleeping at our cottages, right? But that's not an alibi since there's no one here to back it up, right? Hey Hajime, can't you do something about that? I'm counting on you to provide better cover fire.
Oh, looks like I made a mistake. I need to think this over one more time. What do you mean? I don't make mistakes.
I don't know,
You shot
man.
it at the wrong thing.
What about
I
this?
think you're supposed to shoot it at Sonia's.
So-
was it? Well, I mean, I don't know. See, like, I was just confirming that we were all sleeping in our cottages, you know? You're right. You're
Wink, wink.
right. Counter.
Man, we countered that man hard.
Woo, man. Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Nikon and I both have alibis.
You two have alibis?
Until I saw that hanging video, Nikon and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning, in not a weird way.
Oh, hey, what kind of situation is that?
Again, mind out of gutter. Hey, I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime in not a weird or sexual way.
That's the big gutter, though.
Oh no.
That reaction.
There's a lot of water going in.
I feel like the FBI's knocking on my door.
Too much info. You're sus.
It's not like that. She just came and told me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterwards, so we were together until right before the announcement. I get it. You guys have alibis. Please don't talk more.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that.
Jealous.
The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual theme of the crime anyway.
So it is inevitable that having an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement will be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
Big.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
Huh?
Oh my god.
Here comes the trolling.
Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process. Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movies?
Are you saying there was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel.
Oh, do ya?
I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
I had a different reason. That's the case. Are we still in the killer's trap? Inside a trap set by one of us? So then, whose and what kind of trap is it?
To be continued.
Alright.
What?
Yeah, we got
How short of a thought it be?
Wait,
Is that a good stuff?
what?
Well, this isn't like a good stopping point.
I can do.
Because I'll be
whatever
honest,
this-
I want to watch this stream right now, so I want to get off soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say I was like in the last 15 minutes, I don't know what happened, but I suddenly got like super tired.
The same, bro.
We got a lot to process.